We are coming to you live from the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you can handle the truth. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind control Russia. The results of this research are staggering. But first, joining Targeted Massachusetts is free. Just go to targetedmassachusetts.org, and at the top of the page, go to Join TM. Please complete the easy registration form. By joining, you'll receive our newsletter, text updates, and the latest developments in our targeted situation. If you have any questions, call me anytime in the U.S. at 1-508-857-8334. Call into the show live and ask a question at 800-313-9443. Or you can listen at 605-313-0163. I'd like to speak about a very stellar organization here in the targeted community, and that is Targeted Justice. I recommend seriously that you join it. Just go to targetedjustice.com. Go to the upper left-hand corner of the page, hover over Home, and you will see Meet the Team and Become a Member. Click or tick on Become a Member, and you are on your way to one of the finest organizations in the community. And that's targetedjustice.com. Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Access by phone 515-604-9715. Access code 708922. ID Targeted. If you'd like to join us by computer, in your address bar, type freeconferencecall.com/wall/targeted. Our YouTube channel is Targeted Massachusetts. For those of you who are watching the Schumann Residence, it's a very good time to watch. Yesterday, we had a guest, so I did not report on it. In 3 hours in the afternoon, it went from 21 to 36 to 45 to 50. And the 45 to 50 was in a 10-minute period. And as you all know, it is supposed to be 7.83 hertz. The right to cognitive liberty is something that we should almost take for granted. The right to mental privacy, there was no question about that. The right to mental integrity, no question about that either. The right to psychological continuity, no question there either. But are they in the Constitution? They are not in the Constitution. And I want to see them there. And I'm going to draft a letter in the form of a bill and submit it. We've had a lot of strange things going on tonight with the internet. I don't know if you folks have seen the same thing, but we couldn't start our conference call, or should I say we started it, and then things started to go haywire. People couldn't make it in with computers, but they could dial in with their cell phones and landlines. So, I proceeded to make a change on the web, and the whole thing just went down. My account is still there. I could log into it, but it says nobody is there. And there were like 40, 50 people there. So, and that's early on. So we have to consider that this could be part of a test because of this coronavirus. A lot of other sites were not available either. And I have to point out that this is news. This is freedom of press. This is freedom of speech. So we don't want that violated, do we, Mr. Government? Radio will not be disturbed. And tonight I am speaking on Russian mind control. And as I told you, I was going to go from country to country and study their mind control tactics and what they have accomplished in the form of mind control. And Russia has actually given up a secret that I wouldn't believe, but we'll get to that. But once again, freedom of the press, freedom of speech. Let's hope that conference call runs later on. Okay, a dungeon-like room in the Psychotechnological Research Institute in Moscow is used for human testing. The institute claimed its technology can read the subconscious mind and alter behavior. Moscow. The future of U.S. anti-terrorism technology could lie near the end of a Moscow subway line in a circular dungeon-like room with a single door and no windows. Here at the Psychotechnology Research Institute, human subjects submit to experiments aimed at manipulating their subconscious minds. Now, I have purposely put this particular report here because we just researched the subconscious mind. And that is, as we all know now, the storehouse for feelings, emotions, facts. This is where they lie. It's also worth mentioning that in 1976, July 4th, right around midnight, Moscow unleashed a mind control wave of such power that it almost could not be readable, aimed at the West. So on our 200th birthday, Moscow gave us a president. And a lot of people are not aware of it. But that was their tribute to our 200th anniversary. Elena Roselkina, the silver-haired woman who runs the institute in Moscow, gestured to the center of the claustrophobic room, where what looked like a dentist chair sits in front of a glowing computer monitor. She says, we've had volunteers, a lot of them, she said. The thick concrete walls muffling the noise from the college campus outside. She says, we worked out a program with a psychiatric facility to study criminals. There's no way to falsify the results. There's no subjectism. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. The Department of Homeland Security, as we call DHS, has gone to many strange places in its search for ways to identify terrorists before they attack. But perhaps none stranger than this lab on the outskirts of Russia's capital. So, we have our government agency, the Department of Homeland Security, seeking knowledge from a Russian lab. So that tells me a lot about what the United States actually knew about this. This institute has for years served as the center of an obscure field of human behavior study dubbed psychoecology. Now, this traces its roots back to the Soviet era, mind control research. Now, I'd like to add that throughout my research, I have learned that this is one of the largest points that the Soviets and Russia are spending money on. And then we have our own DHS going there for pointers. So, very interesting. So where did some of our mind control come from? It looks like it has come from Russia. What has gotten DHS's attention is the Institute's work on a system called Semantic Stimuli Response Measurements Technology, or SSRM tech, a software-based MindReader that supposedly tests a subject's involuntary response to subliminal messages. So this is what DHS was after at that particular time. SSRM tech is presented to a subject as an innocent computer game that flashes subliminal images across the screen, like pictures of Osama bin Laden or the World Trade Center. The player, a traveler at an airport screening line, for example, presses a button in response to the images without consciously registering what he or she is looking at. The terrorist's response to the scrambled image involuntarily differs from the innocent person's according to their theory What is it called? MindReader 2.0. So we have right around the time after DHS was formed, obviously, so this would be after 9/11. So we have gear for testing this MindReader 2.0 software that hangs on a wall at the Psychotechnology Research Institute in Moscow, marketed in North America as SSRM Tech. At that time, the technology would soon be tested for airport screening by a U.S. firm under contract to the Department of Homeland Security. So now we have seen supposed links before our president in Moscow. Now I am exposing a link between the Department of Homeland Security and Moscow. SSRM Tech. So, this was to be used for airport screening by the United States. Contracted to the Department of Homeland Security. And I repeat that, Department of Homeland Security. This is unreal. Can you imagine Moscow sharing secrets like this? Well, if your result is clean, the passengers were allowed through, said Russell Keena during a reporter's visit last year. If there's something there, that person will need to go through extra checks. Okay, how many of you have gone to the airport under normal circumstances to take a very innocent flight, perhaps to Orlando, Florida, or to Daytona Beach, and you had to go through, quote unquote, extra checks to go through your baggage, examine everything to make sure everything's in order, because they can't actually tell you. Okay, folks, we have to go to commercial. Thank you so much for listening.
Don't believe the church and state and everything they tell you. Believe in me, I'm with the high command. Can you hear me?
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? a voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Calling you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? There's a gun and ammunition just inside the doorway. Use it only in emergency. Better you should pray to God, the Father and the Spirit will guide you and protect you from up here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you?
Evening from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome back. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind-controlled Russia. Now, I'm going to recap just a little bit. Oh, and you can call into the show live and ask a question at 800-313-9443. I welcome you to call in and join or ask a question, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. And due to the time element that we have with this, I'm just going to do a small recap on this. We have already linked the Department of Homeland Security with a laboratory in just outside of Moscow now, so we'll say Moscow. So they've tried to link my president with Moscow, and they have failed. Now we have a concrete link between the Department of Homeland Security and a small lab that produces a mind-reading software, SSRM Tech. Now, this software is a software-based mind reader that supposedly tests a subject's involuntary response to subliminal messages. And they say that it was for sale and marketed in North America. And it was used in airports. So let's look at this. How many times have you been stopped and they've really gone through your luggage thoroughly? I mean, they've just about taken it apart, looking for things. Well, this could be one of the reasons, because this thing was actually aimed at people, and subliminal messages were placed on the screens in front of them as they went through. And one of them was a picture of Osama bin Laden, the other the World Trade Center, and their subliminal responses or subconscious responses were recorded. And this is why some people end up in checks, extra checks. So I would say at this time that this system has been installed and used without the knowledge of the people. Marketed in North America as SSRM Tech, it is actually called MindReader 2.0 software. How's that? MindReader 2.0 software from Russia with love. And we have the DHS as a customer. So, if you have a clean result, this passenger would be allowed through the test area. If there's something there, that person will need to go through what I just spoke of, extra checks. Russell Kina markets the technology as a program called MindReader 2.0. To sell MindReader to the West, she's teamed up with a Canadian firm, which is now working with a U.S. defense contractor called SRS Technologies. This May, DHS announced plans to award a sole source contract to conduct the first U.S. government-sponsored testing of SSRM Tech. Thank you. We'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Talk Right, the conservative app offered by TalkStream Live that caters exclusively to the conservative talk radio community. Here you'll see only talk shows and podcasts from the conservative right. All the big broadcast names and online digital shows in one place. Talk Right makes it easy to find all your favorite conservative talkers with all the upscale features you come to expect from TalkStream Live. Keep up with the fast-paced political world. Download Talk Right today from Google Play or the App Store.
The Republic Broadcasting Network late night premiere show of Red Pill Hardcore is hosted by activists that want to hear from you, the listeners. So that you can get involved in the activism, please call in at 800-313-9443 at 10 p.m. to enter the discussion. To book yourself as a guest, call our studio at 202-657-5715 or contact RBN staff. Remember, keep it real and take the Red Pill.
Don't regret growing old. It's a privilege denied to many. Heart disease is taking our youth from us. Young people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond are dying needlessly. One of the hardest messages I've ever had to deliver is to convince people that something natural like Extendivite should be taken as a preventative measure. I'm sure you heard an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Extendivite is that ounce. Take Extendivite for 1 year and see what your doctor has to say and how much better you feel. Herbs take time to address the problem. It took years of life to have a problem. Give Extendivite 1 year to fix a problem. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or visit us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3.
Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind control Russia. And we have an interesting link between a government organization and a laboratory in Moscow and a program called MindReader 2.0. So, Moscow, or shall we say this company, gave access to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, SSRM Tech, or MindReader 2.0. Now, this is a link that I really don't like to see. Can you imagine what a quantum computer could do with this kind of software innocently picked up by DHS? Now, do you think DHS had any business being in Russia, in Moscow? I don't think they did. That should have been in the news. DHS goes to Moscow. We pay the taxes. It's our money. We should have been told about it, I think. The contract is a small victory for psychotechnology research and its leaders. Now, they have struggled for years to be accepted in the West. Doesn't this blow your mind? It also illustrates how the search for counterterrorism technology has led the United States government into unconventional, and some would say unsound, science. Now, in the United States, in the early part of the 21st century, Anyone who was involved with this was part of the Tin Hat Club. But guess what? In Russia, it is very highly respected. And they have sunk billions of rubles into it. All of the technology at the Institute is based on the work of Rusalkina's late husband, Igor Smirnov, a controversial Russian scientist whose incredible tales of mind control attracted frequent press attention before his death several years ago. Smirnov was a Rasputin-like character, often portrayed in the media as having almost mystical powers of persuasion. Today, first-time visitors to the Institute, housed in a drab concrete building at the People's Friendship University of Russia, are asked to watch a half-hour television program dedicated to Smirnov, who is called the father of psychotronic weapons in Moscow. And he wrote this program, MindReader 2.0. So, the Russian term for mind control weapons, bearded and confident, Smirnov in the video explains how subliminal sounds could alter a person's behavior. To the untrained ear, the demonstration sounds like squealing pigs. Alena Rusalkina demonstrates the terrorist screening tool. She says it works faster than a polygraph and can be used at airports. Now, we did a show and we reported on F lowercase, uppercase MRI. Now, this looks to be the basis of it in a different light, its origin. According to Rusalkina, the Soviet military enlisted Smirnov's psychotechnology during the Soviet Union's bloody war in Afghanistan in the 1980s. It was used for combating the Mujahideen and also for treating post-traumatic stress syndrome in Russian soldiers. In the United States, talk of mind control typically evokes visions of, as I mentioned, tinfoil hats. But the idea of psychotronic weapons enjoys some respectability in Russia. In the late 1990s, Vladimir Lopatin, then a member of the Duma, Russia's parliament, pushed to restrict mind control weapons. And we also reported on this, I think, about 6 weeks ago. And this move that was taken seriously in Russia, but elicited some curious mentions in the Western press. In an interview in Moscow, Lopatin has since left the Duma, cited Smirnov's work as proof that such weaponry is real. So, dear targeted individuals, what do we need? We need proof. Here is some solid proof in black and white. This research is financed and used not only by the medical community, but also by individual, and criminal groups. Now, I'm going to draw a parallel to the United States immediately. We have the medical community in hospitals that were reported to use this kind of technology, and criminal organizations who are targeting their enemies, anyone who has crossed them. So, we have this advanced technology in the United States, and the medical community has it, individuals have it, and criminal groups have it. So why not in the United States see rogue perps, as I have mentioned before? Terrorists also might get a hold of such weapons and target leaders, governors, senators, House reps, and try and alter their perception. After the fall of the Soviet Union, Smirnov moved from military research into treating patients with mental problems and drug addiction, setting up shop at the college. Most of the lab's research was then focused on what it calls psychocorrection. So Smirnov was using this to benefit people. As I have often asked, why don't they take this technology and help people with it? The use of subliminal messages to bend a subject's will and even modify a person's personality without their knowledge. The slow migration of Smirnov's technology to the United States began in 1991. Now, we've been wondering, we've seen MK Ultra and all these other things, but this is a meaningful sentence, and that is, the slow migration of Smirnov's technology to the United States began in 1991. Now, what about Smirnov's technology and quantum computers and satellites? At a KGB-sponsored conference in Moscow, intended to market once secret Soviet technology to the world, they offered it to the United States. Smirnov's claims of mind control piqued the interest of Chris and Janet Morris, former science fiction writers turned Pentagon consultants, who are now widely credited as founders of the Pentagon's non-lethal weapons concept. And there you go. What does this look like? A different beginning for mind control. From Russia, with love. Chris Morris recalled being intrigued by Smirnov. So much so that he accompanied the researcher to his lab and allowed Smirnov to wire his head up to an electroencephalograph, or EEG. This is normally used by scientists to measure brain states. Smirnov peered into Morris's EEG tracings and divined the secrets of his subconscious, right down to intimate details like Morris's dislike of his own first name. So, everybody wants to know where this stuff has come from. Guess what? Russia. The underlying premise of the technology is that terrorists would not recognize a scrambled image. But the operator would. And Morris was elated, and he said, "Gee, the guys back at home have got to see this," Morris recalled. So, what does it take to get this message to you people? The targets in here are learning something for the first time. An origin of where this very powerful program came from. Now, these people shopped the technology around to a few military agencies, but found no one willing to put money into it. However, in 1993, Smirnov rose to brief fame in the United States when the FBI consulted him in hope of ending the standoff in Waco with cult leader David Koresh. They did not use it, and the reason was they didn't understand mind control. The FBI took a pass, and Smirnov returned to Moscow with his mind control technology. With Smirnov, the FBI was either demanding a yes or a no, and therefore our methods weren't put to use, unfortunately, Russell Kina said. Igor Smirnov, founder of the Psychotechnology Research Institute, died of a heart attack in 2005. Smirnov died in November, leaving the widowed Russell Kina, his longtime collaborator, to run the Institute. Portraits of Smirnov cover Russell Kina's desk, and his former office is like a shrine. Okay, folks, once again, we are going to commercial. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Thank you.
How would you like to earn an extra $10,000 or more a month from the comfort of your home? We show you how to win with a home-based business opportunity. This could be one of the best financial decisions you ever make. Work from home, full-time or part-time. Plus, you'll never have to talk to anyone. Our professional sales team closes all your sales for you, and you keep 70% of all the sales made. You could be earning money while you're sleeping, shopping, working out, wherever you are, day or night. Our system goes to work for you. You can make a great income without any special computer skills or sales training. Plus, you get paid fast, within just 24 to 48 hours after our professional sales team closes a sale for you. Let us help you eliminate your financial concerns. You could be earning enough money to pay off debt, buy a house, a car, or whatever the case may be. We've got you covered. If you'd like to add an extra $10,000 or more a month to your portfolio, and you would like to know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, go now to www.getstartedwithus.com. That's www.getstartedwithus.com. Again, that's www.getstartedwithus.com.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective, and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
It happens more often than we can imagine. In my case, I was sitting at home, and out of nowhere, I just started feeling uncomfortable. Then it got worse, and I started perspiring. I tried to ignore it, but I waited too long. The chest pain came as we were driving to the hospital emergency. I felt my life clock begin to tick. I barely survived. There was lots of damage done to my heart. What do I do now? I was lucky. I took a leap of faith and tried a 7-herb formula with hawthorn, garlic, cayenne, and more called Extendivite. Herbs have been used for thousands of years to keep us healthy. If you're not using Extendivite as a preventative supplement, maybe it's time to start. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Good evening, once again from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight we have been discussing, and I have been reporting, on Russian mind control. And the fact that we had a link between DHS and a lab in Russia. And we have people, and we have programs. MindReader 2.0. Now, I asked a few minutes ago, can you imagine if that mind control 2.0 was rewritten a little bit and put into one of our quantum computers of today? I think we would have the type of mind control that we have today. And we also went over the fact that in Russia, mind control is respected. It is known. It is not something that was hidden. So the world has a lot to learn. World leaders have a lot to learn. We must get this information out. It upsets me just going over it. The more I research, the sicker I get at the countries involved. But the Russians were just simply selling something, and the U.S. just simply bought it. So that's a business transaction, right? Unless it's between a U.S. government agency. These days, Russell Kina explained, the Institute uses its psychotechnology to treat alcoholics and drug addicts. And they're very, very successful. Once again, why can't they use this mind control to help people in the U.S.? They can. They just won't. I don't have very much time left, less than half a minute. But what I would like to thank everyone for listening, and I would like to hope that this will wake some people up. So I'd like to say good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Thank you.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion. You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth. Prepare.